What's up guys? Today I'm going to teach you how to do a backside board slide. This is the easiest trick you can do on a rail and it's a lot of fun. Before I get into the steps, I want to talk about one tip that might really help with board slides. So one of the questions I get more than anything at the skate park is why I skate one rail. So when you buy a pack of rails, they usually come with two. I usually just skate one at a time. I put the rail on the toe side edge of my board, the side of the board that's in front of you. Rails are designed to help you slide on objects that aren't waxed, and they help you slide faster. Now if I have two rails, I feel like I slide out of a lot of tricks and I don't have a lot of control. But when I have one rail, I've got the perfect amount of control and slideability. It also really helps with indies, bonelesses, any trick where you have to grab the front of your board. So normally when you don't have rails on your board, you feel like you're rocking back and forth in board slides and it's kind of hard to balance. If you lean too far forward, you'll just stop. But if you have one rail in the front, you can lean forward as much as you want and you're just going to slide faster. But you can actually lean back and slow down your board slide. If I have rails on both sides of my board, I have a hard time popping out in the middle of board slides if I don't want to slide the entire rail. But with one rail on one side of the board, it just feels a little bit easier to pop out in the middle of a board slide. So before you learn how to do a board slide, you need to know how to do an ollie and a frontside 180. You need to be able to ollie up onto the rail or ledge. Before you try doing this on a rail, you want to practice on ledges. You should practice just ollieing up into a board slide position on a ledge where you're not going to slide out. Get really comfortable with that before you try it on a rail. If you jump right into doing a board slide on a rail, you could slide out and fall backwards a few times. So as you approach the rail, you want your feet set up like you're doing a frontside 180 because you're going to be doing half of a frontside 180. Approach the rail at a slight angle. You don't want to come straight perpendicular with the rail, but you don't really want to be completely parallel with the rail at first. As you get better, you can ride up completely parallel with the rail and ollie on. So depending on how fast you're going, when you're a few feet away from the rail, you want to start to turn your shoulders before you pop, just like you're doing a frontside 180. Try to land so the rail is right in the middle of your board. Keep your knees bent and your arms spread out to help you balance. If you start to drift towards one side of the rail, lean the other way to adjust your position. This is easier on a flat bar at first. It's easier on a square rail when you're first learning this. A round rail is going to let you adjust more, but at first when you learn it, a square rail is probably going to be easier to keep your balance. If you're really having trouble keeping your balance, you can try twisting your board a little bit more and locking your wheels in place. This is going to help you balance. If the rail's really long, so as you approach the end of the rail, you have two options. You can keep turning your shoulders the way you were turning at first, completing the frontside 180 so you land fakie, or you can turn your shoulders the opposite way and come off the rail regular. If you're not very comfortable coming off fakie, I feel like it's actually easier to just come off your normal direction because you're more comfortable skating regular. When you're first learning this trick, it's good to just kiss the tip of the rail. You don't have to board slide the whole thing. And if you're just learning this trick, but you're really good at frontside 180s, you can do a frontside 180 and just barely touch the end of the rail. And that'll get you used to being on the rail for a second. If you want to do this trick on ledges, you need a really hard wheel. like Bones, STF. If you look at the Durameter scale on wheels, something that's 100A or harder. Plan B makes these boards called black ice boards. They're really slick on the bottom. They've got this plastic under the graphic and makes it slide really good. I'm going to do a future video testing those out. I've already filmed it, so that'll be coming soon. But if you want to try those out, they definitely slide a lot faster. So that's how you do a backside board slide. I'll have a link at the end of this video to my how to frontside 180 and my how to ollie video. If you don't know how to do a frontside 180, you will need to learn this before you learn a board slide, so check that video out. I hope this video helped you out. If you enjoy this kind of content, reviews, tutorials, and just videos about what I'm learning as I grow as a skateboarder, then hit that subscribe button, and thanks for watching.